So I have been sleeping in, and I have really been enjoying myself on that. And I've been really just doing natural waking up. So I open up my blinds and I allow that starlight. I can see just a wee bit. It's really fun. Hints of the street lights are coming through my rainbow kind of film that I have on the window. It's privacy film, and also too it's very fun. So first thing in the morning, I'm seeing that dawn. I'm just seeing the colors starting to show, and then I like to go and I like to just go to one of my other windows and I just watch that sun come up. Now I've been waking up sometimes fairly early, and then other days not so much. This natural rhythm, if I do have appointments, I am actually making sure I have an alarm set for about 8 a.m. On general, though, I'm waking about 7 o'clock naturally. And that's such a good feeling to wake up naturally so that you're not under stress, you're not worried. And the other part of it, too, is I've been making sure that I have a regular sleep cycle. So I go to bed, roughly about 9:30, 10 sometimes, but sometimes I'm just not tired. I'm not stressed anymore about it. I'm just like, well, okay, then that's how it is. I try to stay off of social media, a good hour to 2 hours before. Sometimes I've checked it, sometimes I've played video games. I'm human, and just kind of getting back to my natural circadian rhythms of the earth and following more of those things and just taking my time. And it's really been a blessing for me. Of course, I've practiced a lot of things that I learned in my counseling sessions and working with myself and working through a large amount of depression over the last little while. So, tons and tons of new things that I've started to do is actually really investing in myself. And now it doesn't mean that I've invested tons of money, but I've just invested time in myself and understanding myself. And so it's been a big thing for me. And what I want to do is I want to invite you into this wonderful little meditation that I've been doing first thing in the morning. So I'm just going to have another sip of coffee. Good go juice. So I want you to get comfortable, and I'm always nice and comfy on my couch here, and I'm all stretched out with my legs. I want you to have your hands either in prayer position, but lots of times it's much more comfortable if you can kick up your feet or just put your feet down and just to relax and have your hands flat, palms down onto your thighs. I want you to close your eyes and just take a nice big breath in through the nose, and then just slowly sighing, breathing out through the mouth. Another big inhale through the nose, and then just sighing it out and breathing through the mouth. Now I love to do this either just sitting down in my chair in the living room, which means I can't fall back asleep because I'm already kind of awake. And I just kind of lean back and I get cozy. And then what I want to do is I just want to remember and have gratitude that I'm able to speak, I'm able to hear. I know that even though my eyes are closed, there's still light that's filtering through. I can hear the birds chirping, and I do hope I can share that with you in this video. I just have gratitude. Basically, just acknowledging how amazing I am where I am. There's no buts. There's no I wish I hads. It's just settling in and having gratitude for exactly as I am right now. Still taking that breath in and releasing. Being grateful for this amazing, wonderful earth and the air that we can breathe. for the cheerful chirping of those birds. And I have the window open, so you definitely can see and hear that I've got a little bit of activity on my street this week. Just really acknowledging that things are starting to pick up again. Having gratitude for the world kind of waking up, shaking off some of the old dust, and releasing a large amount of fear. Still taking cautions as we open up our businesses. Maybe you're introduced when you work now, you have to wear a face shield and a mask. Large amounts of people having to invest in gloves for themselves. And just taking into that acknowledgement that right now, that's how we have to do with life. And how wonderful it is that we have these things available to us, or they are provided sometimes to us from our workplaces. Just settling in. And how amazing that this time was that we actually found some closeness with family and friends. We reached out, or they reached out to us. Or sometimes we had peace and we had quiet where we hadn't had before. Acknowledging that we have a very important role to work on ourselves and to work with others in healing this beautiful world of ours. And as we practice distancing ourselves, we're still opening up our hearts. We've prioritized things in our lives that were significant for us at this time and for those that we care for and love. We've taken time to settle in, and we have gratitude. And I just take a few breaths and just feel the energy and feel the love of Source, God, whoever it is for you, pouring the blessings of this beautiful new day for us. Giving us these wonderful tools, whatever we've learned, or whatever we're going to learn. And just settling into that beautiful connection and knowing that we are important as we are in this moment. And no matter what is scheduled for your day, you've had this time, this centering in, this peacefulness for yourself. And so now I'm going to be sending distant Reiki. To everyone that is watching, my hands are out for you. You should feel it coming down your head, down your shoulders, down the front of the body, as well as down the back of the body, to your fingertips and to your toes. Feel your breath slow, deepen. Feel the tension in your jaw slacken. Your shoulders drop You can move your head from side to side, or just simply sink deeper into your chair. Feel your body relaxing. Feel the connection, again, from energies of Source, God, whatever it is you believe in, healing within you and healing outside of you, and from the earth, the gentle hum of the energy coming up the balls of your feet, warming your center, your core, and connecting completely into your solar plexus. And you should feel relaxed, and you should feel refreshed. Taking in that big deep breath. Yawn, sigh, letting that go. Another big deep breath in. And wiggling your fingers and your toes and opening your eyes to stretch. Remember that we are just these amazing divine beings, and that we have so much love, so much to give. And your priorities of where you're giving your love or your attention are yours. Remember to let go of judgments of ourselves, that our choices or where we are going to go or what we're choosing to do, a large portion of the time when I say things like, I have this wonderful healing idea, but I hear in the back of my mind, stop. You have this wonderful healing idea, and there you go. So a really large amount of me coming to peace, just really finding balance, was about nature, and it was definitely helpful that it was spring into the summer season we're coming upon, but really also too, that slowing down was forced on us. Everyone was saying, but really, we got to choose how to react in it. And I chose to do a lot of development, and I chose to do a lot of peace. And I loved lots and lots of love. I was still busy, of course, and I'm still taking Reiki on clients and doing readings distantly as well. But now I've opened up my house again, and the business is ready to provide those services again. And again, I'm taking the time to do more development in my courses and classes. And this wonderful class that I'm creating, that I've co-created, of course, I've been working with Archangel Ariel, the angel that oversees nature elements. I'm working with Archangel Raphael, the healing angel. Archangel Michael and Archangel Ariel are always at my side, or like sometimes even just yanking me along. And so I really, really wanted to encourage people to just really connecting with themselves and really start to maybe look at some alternatives for yourself to enhance your life. Now, we do want to take caution always when we are incorporating herbs, if we're ingesting them or we're eating them, putting them on our skin, we may have reactions. People around us may have reactions to certain oils and different scents and things like that. However it is, remember to always respect your body and respect the reactions of other people in your home as well. Now, as I start some of my projects, I have to kind of seal them off, and I'm going to have something outdoors for myself so that the aeration, as things are going to be made, that it's not overwhelming in my kitchen. Now, not only do I have someone that's very sensitive to scent now, my husband, Ron, but I also have two wonderful little creatures, two cats. And of course, opening back the house up to all of my treatments, all of my clients, there's even more that I have to take caution on. Same with the COVID, I always call it. So same with taking those precautions against COVID being spread. Now, I'm still using masks and I'm still using gloves on every client. And now I'm asking that all of my clients and anyone that is coming to visit for shopping, for treatments, for readings, that they are taking note that if they were in any high areas or a chance that they could actually become a carrier, remember that we still have that 7 to 14 days that we don't know if we could be a carrier or have any kind of symptoms before it actually is spread. So making sure that if you are going to areas that you have been, any chances of those, making sure you're taking note and saying, I'm going to postpone, or I'm going to just rebook, just not only for the kindness of, a rampant spreading for myself and for my husband, but also all the other clients and people that will be coming into my practice as well. So thank you very much for that. Of course, any of the classes now, I actually have some masks that are being made, either a medium or a larger mask. I actually do have gloves in medium and large as well, and those are the nitrile gloves, so they're latex free and they're powder free. The reason being, of course, is I don't like the smell of latex, and many people are allergic to it, so I'm taking precautions for everyone. And those are provided by me. It's not an additional cost or charge in the class at all. So pardon me, cat hair. I have also incorporated some, I know because I said cat hair, some filtration systems as well. Now, with my husband's health, it's made breathing a lot easier because of the pollens and the dusts and the allergens out there. I actually did buy myself a filtration system specifically, and it's downstairs, and it has cut out the allergens. I'm breathing better, and I hadn't realized that I was actually sensitive to some of the allergens like dust and pollens and things like that during the spring, but I was pretty impressed by the difference that it's made just from having it less than a week in my home. So looking at implementing more of those kind of things in my home. And yes, in a business standpoint as well, many people have sensitivities, so it's in place for you as well. So some of the things that I found were, of course, having too many cluttersome things in my home. And so getting rid of things, another thing I started to do was I want to change. I wanted to bring in more energy or new energies. So I got rid of some of the older things so that I could purchase some newer things for myself. And what a sense of accomplishment to go from having like so many odds and end dishes to having a complete set and like something new and fresh. And yes, I purchased, but I got rid of the old things first. And it was a really nice refreshment to see how much we don't really need. And why was I collecting things? A big thing again on that. Now, I tend to do this every 3 months. Every 3 to 4 months, I go through like these little cycles, and it's healthy for me. For other people, it's uncomfortable, or they don't probably have a lot of clutter. Now, a large portion of why I collected things or needed a collection of things was I have fond memories of some of those things as a child. Also, because I'm one of 8 girls, I had very little amounts of certain things. And as I got older, I could afford to have more things. So I collected because, well, as a little girl, I didn't have a lot of those things. Well, now I'm looking at it and I'm going, why do I need all of those things? It was just a want. It was a nurturing that I was looking to satisfy within myself. So I've gone through and I now have things that are important to me for making more products for clients and customers. And it's an art form for me to have some of those things. Now, it's not that I need one of everything, because there's going to be certain products that I don't want to have so much of, and I'm just kind of downsizing on some things. I'm trying to keep a lid on one of my big projects, but it definitely has been a very fun learning curve for me, teaching myself new skills, and really taking myself off of social media, taking myself away from being linked into my computer or on my phone and really doing a lot of book work and research and things like that. So much gratitude for being able to do a large amount of those things and really having some fun with that as well. And of course, now that I'm going to go back onto television, I'm super excited because I have some new refreshing ideas and just a lot more things that I've been doing. I started baking, I started cooking, and so because, of course, there were no gyms open, I also started to get more focused on just enjoying life a little bit more. And so, yes, I did put on some weight, but I had lost due to depression and anxiety. I had lost a large amount of weight, and so, some of these nurturing qualities that I started to overdo, eating way too many cookies, and cooking. Oh my goodness, cooking and being very frivolous with how to prepare my meals as well. I found out I really don't need as much money as I thought I did because of the way that I eat. It was the way that I was raised. And you eat your leftovers. And I love making lots and lots of meals now. I prep meals just so that I have them ready. I'm the tendency of I don't feel like cooking today. So I would just skip the dishes. And that's expensive, of course. It's a convenience. And yes, it was out there. But then also too, it would bring in more risk for me, more contaminants, right? A possibility. I mean, all the people that were working, everyone's been, very safe, and the practices, everything's fine. But in my head, I'm like, well, why am I introducing the possibilities of those things? So why not start cooking for myself? And I started watching a couple shows on Netflix, of course, because, Netflix is fun. And then I was watching some regular shows and really honing in to some of the things that I started to realize that I like cooking, I like baking, and I really started to kind of open that nurturing side to myself. And I discovered a big piece of myself that was missing. And the reason it was missing was because for years and years, I was cooking on the assumption that I had to make things and everything had to be so healthy and so measured and so calculated. And that wasn't all my thinking. That was because my husband is a very health conscious person, and that's his choice. But it almost became obsessive. It almost became a form of control of what I put into my body. And so with COVID, I started to realize that it's okay if I have some potato chips, but going out and having a big bag of potato chips, I'm like, well, I have to go to the store and buy that so many times. So then, of course, I had this purchase a long time ago of an air fryer. Wow, does that open up your world to some treat food that's so much healthier? So I started to implement making things that were like treats, but they were so much healthier. And of course, I had to sample things. So a basic cookie recipe, then I would, instead of using chocolate chips, I used nuts and fruits because I'm a nuts and fruit kind of girl in my cookies. And lots of people are go, when that question out there is oatmeal raisin or oatmeal chocolate chip. I'm the oatmeal raisin girl. And I've been implementing cranberries and dried apricots and just having a fun time. Of course, they're still sweet. They're still a treat. So I got to cut back and I have to monitor those things a little bit better. But that's where the balancing comes in. When I was so obsessed about doing things for other people and doing things just so healthy, I was forgetting the joyful things. Even though I talked about it so much, I wasn't practicing a large part of that. So I've found balance, and I'm really quite happy. And so I let go of a lot of ideals, a lot of belief systems, a lot of values, but I still hold true to my own system. I found myself again when I said no to some things. And I really want to say that when we have the courage and we find the proper tools to get us back into that natural flow, embrace it. And It doesn't mean you have to shut out everybody else or close all the doors, but keeping an open heart with limitations to what your boundaries need to be is very, very healthy. So I've come a long ways over a short period of time, and I know that I have. And I want to encourage you to do some of that connections. First thing in the morning, do that nice little meditation, really having gratitude, really recognizing what we actually do have at that moment. Now, that could be that you are in a hospital bed somewhere and that you don't have as much as other people, or you have a home full of clutter and you don't know where to begin, how to downsize. You have that for where you are. It's your choices and where your decisions are going to lead you that are going to get you into a healthier choice, into a happier mindset, whatever it is for you. Reach out to the people that can help you. Those people that are the ones that are judging or the ones that are ignoring you or social distancing, and then mentally distancing was a big, big part that I recognized. And I went, wow, they've always done that to me. If I served a purpose for them, and this is the thing that I've gone over this a little bit, we kind of gather to those that we are learning from, or we have a reason to be around them, or they have a reason for us in their life. Now, it breaks it down. It doesn't sound so loving and caring, but we can find the joy and we can understand what people bring to us in those instances that they've been in our life. So try not to be so emotional, but we are emotional creatures. How can that possibly be? There's nothing wrong with being emotional either. It's like, what? We're finding that balance. Try to have gratitude. When we do 21 days of gratitude and we do like a purging or a cleansing, I did that with the social media. It meant to be only 21 days and it was well over a month and a half before I actually felt comfortable with going back onto social media. Now, social media, the news media in itself, there's so much that it's only feeding onto the negativity. And so it was very important for me to recognize that, yes, these are important issues, but are they in my immediate circle? No. They weren't the people that lovingly care for me. They aren't that way. I don't have anyone in my family that I can perceive and say that are very prejudiced or racist. There have been many times in my life that I've seen racism or prejudice, but they aren't in my immediate circle. They're not in my immediate family. So I am keeping myself in check in knowing that I'm not that way. I have values and ideals, and I have people in my circle that I do value. However, I don't have to listen to everything they say either. So the amazing growth that came out of stepping back and really looking after myself was very, very key and important. Now, what also happened with myself was I was relying on trying to hide a lot of things or trying to cover up things that I wasn't approaching. You know, practice what you preach, the big thing. Oh, yeah. There's that big release for me. Big yawn. Because I had so many details and so many things that I wanted to help other people with, I wasn't helping myself. So finding that balance was very important. And I do have limitations now. I stopped looking at social media. I stopped answering my phone, texts, messages. People, yes, you can still message me any time of day, night, whatever. All my notifications are off. And during client sessions, they've always been off. Same thing. So I don't need to be constantly plugged in. I don't need to be constantly tuned in. But it's a good thing to have a presence. It's a good thing for people that are maybe afraid to ask me how I'm doing or ask about me, my family, etc. They get a little hint. They get a little information just from me posting. So nothing wrong with any of that. I've been really in touch with nature and really watching the cycles, listening to the birds, and I've seen like the little baby birds that are already starting to pop out of their shells, watching some of those wonderful little creatures, and you're seeing the babies already starting to start to leave the nests, some of those early birds. Now we've had a beautiful spring so far. Some people say that, oh, it was so cold, it was horrible, and then we're going into summer, and it's a cool summer right now. But how amazing were some of those temperatures just these last few days? And they're going to continue. We are warming up. Now we have stepped back with some of the emissions that weren't produced because we were all, at home. I myself, oh my goodness. So between Ron and I, we had the two vehicles again. So I didn't need to take my vehicle, and I've been shopping and going shopping only every 2 weeks. And that's just by choice. And of course, by food preparations and doing some necessary things. And it also limits that social isolation. It limits that contagion or like possibility of me spreading anything if Ron had, because he was going for appointments and all of that. And I was really, really taking care to make sure everything was washed down, and I wasn't, pardon the expression, OCD, crazy on doing those practices, but I was really keeping that in check. And I never got sick. I never got a cold. I never got anything more than a little congestion, and that was due to allergies. From, as we get older, maybe my filter just isn't as much, and that's why I got the HEPA. It's better than HEPA, sorry. It's from Walmart. I picked it up, and it's an air purifier, and it is hospital grade. And yes, it's got all the filtration systems, and I bought an extra filter because I wasn't sure with the cats and other pollutants, but my space is really, really, it's made a big difference. And so I hadn't realized that I had sensitivities now. As we age, sometimes that happens. But anyway, so I've been practicing all of these things, and 2 week increments, going out and going shopping, and try to go as close to the lower periods of time, not going on a Saturday afternoon, just not me anyway. And I was finding that I liked it. I liked having meals planned and having activities planned for myself, and scheduling in check-in times with friends, and of course with counseling, as I went through some counseling period here with the depression that was really, really bad, and working with those things and not putting so much stuff out there on social media. Now, some of us post those things to bring awareness. That's awesome. That's great. But check in with yourself. How often are you posting about those things? People start to tune you out. They start to turn you off as well. So what happens, friendships, the same thing. I was very dramatic on some of the stuff I was stuck in. So I was, over the edge on some of the things, because that's where I was at with my depression and anxiety. So I had to step back, and I had to just really look at myself. And with that, I really discovered the things that I enjoy and the things that I want to bring forward. So me babbling on about a whole bunch of interesting things, it's just been a wonderful journey, and I welcome you all back. So once a week, I'm going to be definitely doing, again for Access Television, I'll be doing on the TV, doing the actual TV recordings. And then once a week as well, when I do the Access Television show, I'm also going to have 1 hour on the Facebook page, and that'll be Above and Beyond / Donna Rurak. That will also be shared onto the Precious Therapies page. Now, so much more with social media stuff. I have now honed it in with the Precious Therapies. That is my business, and that includes, of course, my sessions. That includes class information, and there's also, of course, the jewelry. So that's the Precious Therapies page. Now, there is the Precious Therapies jewelry and crystals, and that's a shopping page. So I want to update that stuff, and I definitely have now a new Instagram page that I'm slowly going to have tagged in to that Precious Therapies shopping. So Can you shop online? Absolutely you can. That means you're either going to go on Instagram or you're going to go on Facebook, and I'll have the merchandise on there. Now, it might not be exactly when you do make a purchase, but I will have the majority of those selections always available, because I love to create the jewelry and love to do the healing work with those crystals and things. So those are available. They can be shipped to you, but know that the shipping is expensive. Crystals, jewelry, rocks weigh money. They're heavy. So if you want to make an appointment to do a shopping appointment in house, that is the best option, because then you're not paying for the shipping and you get more for bang for your buck. Also, too, I'm going to have garage sale kind of things, but it's going to be an open market. So everyone that comes, yes, you can touch the items, but I will be supplying gloves for you. You're going to have a social distancing amount of space away, and I do recommend, if you have a face mask, that when you want to come to the open market, that you can shop that way. This is going to be encouraged because I don't want other people that are going to come and buy a piece of jewelry, and yes, they can be sanitized, and I will have to do some of those sanitation practices with some of my clients that come through as well for treatments, but understand that it's easily done. So very, very fun that I can wipe things down, I can have them sanitized, all of those practices can be in place. So no fear, no worries about those kind of things. And it's going to be this way for a little while. Now, the reason that I'm introducing it this way is I'm setting these protocols to really, really have that one-on-one personality too. I'm the kind of person too that I like to pick out my items. I like to hold them and touch them, and that's why I've got the gloves. You can still feel it through the gloves. You can still feel, and instead of trying things on, you could be encouraged to maybe hold them close to you, but not directly on you. And of course, you know, we can always have little jewelry extenders, all of those kind of things if it's not quite the right size for you. And I have different lengths of chains. I have been really, really, really having a fun time creating bracelets, creating necklaces, pendants, earrings again, lots and lots of fun jewelry. I've had the time to do those things. So I do have an extra amount of things. And definitely I make custom pieces too. So just updating some of the things that I've been doing. Now, some of my new projects are going to take a little bit while for the preparedness of them. And so within the next 3 months, you're going to be seeing some amazing new products coming out. I've been really having a lot of fun, and I'm planning on having even more fun. So that's going to be reflected in some of the new products coming. I still have the smudge sprays, which are always available, and that's going to be in the 500 mLs and the 250 ml bottles. And those ones are my special select blends that I have. I still have the teas that are behind me as well, and each container is in a special plastic bag, a Ziploc bag, and as I'm actually preparing the portions out for you, I have a mask and I have gloves on. So I am making sure, of course, my hair is always tied back and everything's sanitized. So very, very strict guidelines for preparing everything. Wow. What does that mean? It doesn't mean I'm crazy. It means that I am making sure I'm looking out for you. And of course, I want all of that health practices, all of those things should be followed mostly by anyone that deals with these kind of things as well. Lots of people have said, and it's because they haven't been affected to the degree that I have been, or my husband has been. Now, my husband's immune system definitely took a butt kicking, as we know that with his ongoing treatments, it always will be. And so the extra precautions I have to take, yes, they're for my husband and they're for my household, but also too, so that they're for you. Because I am treating it as if I actually do have COVID, but I know I don't. And therefore, you won't get it here. until all of the things, all of everything is verified with Health Canada, this is a real thing. Now, some people out there are saying, oh, it's blown out of proportion and that's people going crazy. It's a form of control. We're being disciplined, and all of those kind of words come to mind. And oppression was another one. And I'm like, people, wow. That's why I pulled myself off of Facebook. I pulled myself off of social media, because there was so much. And then, of course, the jokes started to come about how people's reactions are and things like that, and their belief systems. And then, of course, the racism started to happen again from events that were not supposed to happen. But this world, everyone is hyperactive, everyone's going above, and that static, all of that. Now, remember that this time frame, we're cleansing, we're clearing. So all of that garbage, that regurgitation happened again. And if you look at maybe a year ago or 2 years ago, there was another incident. Escalates at certain times. So if you don't want to be part or pulled into that drama fest, don't go on it. Don't be acknowledging some of those things. Now, it's your choice, it's your free will. And at that too, understanding that if you're posting a bunch of those things, or, really feeding the frenzy, there's going to people that are going to react, or choose to not react by, leaving your scene, or, leaving the trauma. And that's perfect, because we're human. We're going to go through these little things in life, but really self-checking is very important. Now, some of the things that really have been helpful for me is definitely connecting with nature, going out on those nature walks that I kind of posted on the YouTube. I always keep on saying the YouTube. I've been working with Archangel Raphael. And so, of course, it's the Google, the YouTube, and that's definitely Archangel Raphael. And really that lingo, the language, has been really a little bit of the old English language coming through, as I've been really working with the angelic realm. Also, too, working with the angelic realm does include the fairies and our wonderful mystical beings, because there are facts to some of these interesting creatures that have existed. And I talk about different realms and working in that energy as well. And there's been so much healing that has really been happening and taking place. We just haven't really fed into the frenzy of all of the good stuff lately. So that's what I'm filling my feed with. So I choose to have very positive outlooks on life, and I choose to have good quality things around me for my value set. So all of these things that you're going to see in the next little while, and just definitely these are just things that I practice. And again, free will and free choice for everybody. With that being said, I've been chatting for a very, very long time today. I'm very excited. And I've been listening to the 528 hertz. And so if you can hear the music in the background, it is for positive transformation. And that's what this time is very, very important for us to be doing. I found some amazing creative things to be doing in this time, and really, really focusing. If we look back in history, we had all times of pandemics as well. And yes, there's going to be a second uprising of it, but if we're practicing the safe, healthy ways, all of those things will be minimized and contained. We're educating ourselves. Make sure we're educating ourselves with all practices too. Now, also with the all practices, making sure that it's definitely from a legit source, making sure that we are cleaning things, and making sure that we are eliminating being in areas for long periods of times. And so that social distancing, making sure that we're practicing, making sure that we are connecting on a different level. Use Facebook, use YouTube, use your FaceTime or Messenger. Make sure that we're connecting with people. We just aren't able to hug each other, and we're supposed to be limiting those things. But hey, one of the biggest things that really broke me through a major part of my depression was an effort that Ron made. And he grabbed a sheet and he hugged me one day. And where I was at that frame of mind, I was really just shocked, for one. And we really started to connect again. And I went, he's making effort. I'm going to do the same. And so lots of crazy stuff in life just pulls at you one way and shatters you and changes things. But remember to do things for your best self. And, if you're struggling on certain paths, get the help you need. And make sure that we all know that our mental health is important. And so whatever makes your mental health better, no judgments, nothing based, there should be no prejudice or judgment based on what you need to do compared to other people. So keep that in mind, everyone. Be kind, be loving, and always just stay connected to yourself. Stay connected to what makes you your most authentic self. Check in with yourself. Are there people that are leaving you, or there's trauma or drama that you're creating? Step back and really, really do some work. So thank you everyone for watching, and you will be seeing me on the Access television show as well, Messages from Above and Beyond with Donna Rurak. And you'll be seeing me, of course, Above and Beyond /Donna Rurak on Facebook, and Precious Therapies. Then on Instagram, my goodness. So there's Precious Therapies Jewelry, there's Precious Therapies, and there's Precious Therapies classes. Now, Donna Rurak is also out there as well. So anywhere you can reach me. I want to send positive light to everyone, send so much radiant love and healing into this world, because this world has been such a wonderful, wonderful place for us. And if we look at it as this is a place where we learn our lessons, and we learn many lessons, earth lessons are the hardest ones because they're not instantaneous, like in the angelic realm or in the fairy realm or dragons, all of these such things. They're not instantaneous. So it takes time for our cells to change. Remember that it takes 7 years for every cell in our body to completely be regenerated. Now, if we're in a different atmosphere or a different mindset, that's going to elevate and bring in better energy for your cells. So do the 21 days. 7 days helps you to get into 7 times for a healthy habit. 21 times, so 7 times 3, is going to give that a really concrete form. And then repetition, always keeping yourself and improving yourself so you grow. We're meant to grow. Our pots are going to get a little too small, so we have to transplant ourselves into a better or bigger environment sometimes. Sometimes we're going to need to winter. We're going to need to give ourselves nourishment in order to be brighter and bloom bigger and grow some more as well. So we are elementals, and that's going to be a fun class that's coming up. Stay tuned, and you can check that out on the Instagram and on Facebook. You can see that, and I will be posting. I do have the classes scheduled there, and I try not to have too much information about costs and such for my television show, but there is going to be some cost to some of those things. The fairies, elementals, angels, earth healing class that I'm formatting, I'm just finishing up and getting everything all together, but I've been doing years and years of research and, of course, working with magic. Now, magic is natural magic for me. It's nothing of dark art, anything like that. It's always encouraging God energy, goddess energy, and of course, connecting to source, our beautiful earth, our beautiful universe, all of those things. And so whatever that is for you, you might find some interest in that. So thank you so much, and I hope you share this. And I hope you've had a good time. Just remember to have some more gratitude. Thank you, everyone. I leave you with peace. I leave you with Reiki healing energy. And watch some of my meditations because there's going to be a lot more coming up. Mwah. Love and light, everyone.